Want a chance to win a fully decked out Mercedes Sprinter van with Omaze? Then stay tuned for the sponsor message later in the video. Do you know which state has the most Californians moving in? I'll give you a hint. It's not Wyoming. But in 2022, Texas grew by nearly the entire population of Wyoming with 470,000 new residents, bringing the total population to over 30 million. And with great weather, a low cost of living, no state income tax, and so many incredible diverse cities and gorgeous unique landscapes, you might want to join them. But since everything is bigger in Texas, with it literally taking 12 hours just to drive across, you probably don't know where to start. That's where we come in. We ranked the following cities and towns mainly in their economy, safety, cost of living, schools, amenities, and quality of life, and made sure to include something for everyone. These are the 10 best places to live in Texas. And let's hit 5,000 likes for a video on the 10 best places to live in California. Number 10, McAllen.
What the heck is a McAllen? Sounds like a special McDonald's menu item they only have at military bases.
What? No, okay, fine. Most people don't really think much about the lower Rio Grande Valley, but it's honestly only their loss because it's home to actual year-round warm weather and some of the safest cities in the country. And out of all of them, McAllen might just be the best, especially when you include the entire metro area, which has 881,000 residents. There's fun nightlife and live music all along 17th Street, incredible Mexican food, modern infrastructure, and tons of unique natural landscapes ranging from salt lakes to cactus gardens to forests, bird sanctuaries, and wildlife refuges. Not to mention, the schools are great, traffic's nearly non-existent, and it's dirt cheap with a median home cost of just 218 grand. The only thing holding McAllen back is the economy, which just doesn't offer many good paying jobs with a median household income of only 45 grand. But hey, at least you're just an 80-minute drive from South Padre Island, aka the best beaches in Texas. Number 9, Houston. Houston may be the ugliest big city in the country, but what it lacks in natural beauty and urban planning, it makes up for in diversity, jobs, and amenities. In fact, Houston's actually the most diverse US city, and it's nearly impossible to get bored here with incredible culinary experiences, high-end shopping, 2 international airports, great nightlife, tons of green spaces and parks, over 150 museums, and a highly ranked opera, orchestra, and theater scene. Not to mention, it's less than an hour from the beach. But it is a big city, which means it also comes with the usual big city problems like horrendous traffic and crime. The violent crime rate is actually 225% above the national average. And in addition to those issues, Houston's location makes it prone to a set of unique issues in the form of natural disasters, with hurricanes, floods, hailstorms, blue northers, tornadoes, and sharknadoes being a common occurrence. Okay, maybe not the last one. At least it also is the most affordable big city with a median home cost of just 273 grand to go along with a median household income of 71K. Number 8. San Marcos. San Marcos?
Polo!
Now, technically, San Marcos is an Austin suburb, but that would also be the worst way to describe it because this funky little college town might even be more weird than Texas's capital while not being nearly as busy and actually safe. I mean, there's a reason it's one of the fastest growing cities. For many, it's the perfect balance between having a fun downtown to explore full of live music and art while still maintaining a laid-back lifestyle where no one is in a rush. And if you ever need a break from the social scene, you're also in the heart of hill country, which means there are so many gorgeous rivers, forests, meadows, canyons, bluffs, and swimming holes close by. Not to mention, the median home value of 374 grand is a fraction of the cost of Austin, while you're still just 30 miles away. And only 50 from San Antonio if you ever have a hankering for history or big city amenities. Unfortunately, however, you will likely have to do one of those commutes if you want a good paying job, since the local economy isn't great. But to be fair, no matter where you live in Texas, you're probably gonna need to drive a lot. I mean, the state spans nearly 270,000 square miles and has the largest highway system in the country, which is great if you love road trips, aka the best way to experience this massive state. And after having traveled to 49 states, do you know what I think is the best road trip vehicle?
A bicycle.
What? No, a Mercedes Sprinter van. Whether you're looking to explore the country full time or would just love a vehicle to take on adventures, Omaze is currently offering a sweepstakes where you could win a fully decked out Mercedes Sprinter with over 85 grand in customizations from Vansmith. And even if you don't win, you can help support a great cause with donations benefiting the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, who is leading the way in understanding, treating, and defeating childhood cancer and other life-threatening diseases. So what are you waiting for? If you love traveling, head to omaze.com/FHTT using the link in the description and enter for a chance to win. Number 7, San Antonio. Home to the historic Alamo and Riverwalk and amusement parks like Six Flags and SeaWorld, San Antonio is by far the biggest tourist town in Texas. But while it's technically the 7th largest US city and 2nd largest in the state by population, that's mostly just due to how wide the city limits are. Because at its core, San Antonio is much more a relaxed, very spread out large town than an actual big city. But that's not a bad thing. The Alamo City offers a seamless blend of small town vibes with overwhelmingly friendly residents, while still having access to real big city amenities like a zoo, NBA basketball, cultural and historical attractions, fun and quirky mini neighborhoods with nightlife and top-notch restaurants, and of course, the Riverwalk. And with nearly perfect weather, some of the best schools in the state, and miles upon miles of gorgeous hiking trails, it's truly one of the best places to live and save money and raise a family, especially since the median home value isn't even $300,000. Number 6, Corpus Christi. Texas's largest coastal city might just be the best, although it still isn't very big with a metro population of only 442,000. But that also means while there's enough to do with fun bars, festivals, events like the Art Walk, AA baseball, and a few museums and music venues, the city still maintains that small town charm where your neighbors say hi and there's literally no traffic. But the best thing about Corpus is it's where Whataburger started. Oh, just me? Okay, fine. The actual best thing about living here is you're less than 30 minutes from the beautiful beaches of Padre Island. Corpus Christi's coastal location with pleasant year-round temperatures means life here revolves around the ocean, with delicious seafood and so many water activities from fishing to sailing, seashell collecting, beach bonfires, and even a water park downtown. Now sure, the economy isn't the best, with a median household income of only $59,900, but when you consider the affordable median home cost of just $216,000, wages aren't that bad. Number 5, Dallas. Houston may be the largest Texan city by population, but the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is the largest metropolitan area in the state and 4th largest in the country with 7.86 million residents. And despite its already massive size, the population continues to grow by 1.6% each year, mainly due to Dallas's booming economy. With 22 Fortune 500 companies, there are so many incredible job opportunities in literally every industry you could think of, leading to a median household income of $76,000 and an unemployment rate of 3.3%. And when you consider the incredible schools, great barbecue, and pretty much every big city amenity you could think of, including the largest arts district in the US, the median home cost of just $327,000 is practically a steal. But while the Big D has plenty of world-class museums, bars, restaurants, concerts, shows, parks, sports, shopping, and a few hip neighborhoods like Oak Lawn, Uptown, Bishop Arts, and Deep Ellum, Dallas lacks a lot of the soul and character that make other cities fun and unique. So sure, it checks all of the boxes of things a big city should have, but it's more a sprawling suburbia where you need to drive long distances to access those amenities rather than a true urban metropolis. Number 4, Fort Worth. If you're moving to the DFW strictly to work, then yeah, Dallas is probably a better fit. But if you care about charm, unique attractions, and actually having fun, Fort Worth is where you want to be. The historic city was the last stop on the Chisholm Trail and effectively the start of the Wild West, and it's embraced and preserved its Western heritage ever since. The Stockyards District is a blast from the past with the world's only daily cattle drive in addition to rodeos, live music, museums, and Western-themed stores along its brick-lined streets. And while Cowtown may be the most Texan city, it also offers something for every type of lifestyle, from great nightlife, dining, and shopping all along West 7th Street to an array of museums and gardens in the neighboring cultural district to the number 2 rated zoo in the nation. And unlike Dallas's downtown, which is very corporate and chic, Fort Worth's, dubbed Sundance Square, is laid back and pedestrian focused with cutting edge restaurants, bars, cafes, and boutiques, as well as the stunning water gardens. Add in the fact that it's much safer than Dallas, still has good paying jobs, and is even slightly cheaper with a median home cost of $325,000, and it's no wonder Fort Worth is the fastest growing big city in the US. Number 3, El Paso. In a lot of ways, El Paso does not feel like a part of Texas. Heck, it's the only Texan city on Mountain Time, and it's actually closer to San Diego than it is to Houston. Not to mention, it's part of the largest bilingual binational workforce in the Western Hemisphere, with thousands crossing the border from Juarez every day to work or study in El Paso, and vice versa, giving the city a unique identity and culture that isn't quite Mexican or American, yet also a combination of both. Downtown and the surrounding areas have so much charm, with historic sites and buildings along the Mission Trail next to lively open-air markets, next to offices, high-end restaurants, and hipster cafes. Speaking of which, I have been to every major city in this country, and by far the best Mexican food and coffee I have ever had was here.
But wait, if El Paso is on the border, doesn't that mean it's super dangerous?
Well, actually the opposite. It's one of the safest US cities. And if all that still isn't enough to convince you to move here, maybe the fact that it gets 302 sunny days a year, is close to so much breathtaking nature, has great schools, and is still dirt cheap with a median home value of just $208,000 will. Number 2. Plano. As I'm sure you can tell by now, the Dallas-Fort Worth area is one of the best metros in the country and features many of the best places to raise a family. And out of all of them, Plano might be the best of the best. It's the safest city in Texas, the schools are nationally renowned, and while it technically is a suburb, Plano is anything but plain. Sure, you won't find any raging nightlife, but there's a cute downtown and other walkable dining areas like Legacy Hall and the Boardwalk at Granite Park, great Asian food, tons of green spaces, plenty of community events, and so many historic homes and neighborhoods. With that being said, a high quality of life usually doesn't come cheap, and the median home cost is $524,000. But there are also tons of amazing job opportunities, with Capital One, Toyota Financial, PepsiCo, Liberty Mutual, JCPenney, and FedEx all being located here, leading to the highest median household income of any place on this list at $100K. Plus, if you ever get bored, Dallas is just 30 minutes away. Now, before we get to number 1, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and let me know which state you want me to cover next. But without further ado, number 1. Austin. Yes, despite the median home cost of $619,000 and the bottleneck of chaos that's known as Interstate 35, Austin is not just the best city to live in Texas, it might also be the best city in the nation. The booming economy continues to thrive with an unemployment rate of just 2.6%, a median household income of $87,000, and more huge companies moving to town. And while Austinites work hard, they probably play even harder because there's always so much fun going on. The food truck and beer scene is among the best in the nation, the surrounding hill country is breathtaking, and there's live music and art literally everywhere. Sure, it's not as weird as it used to be, but the pros still heavily outweigh the cons, and Austin will likely be the best place to live in Texas for the rest of the decade.